boy.
It's been really difficult. The only ones that we could find were really expensive. It's very nice places, but at the same time you're thinking, if I wanted a dog but I didn't want to pay a lot more, what would I do?
Darina is flat hunting for her upcoming move to Leeds. She currently lives in a luxury pet-friendly apartment in Manchester city centre, where even Pickle has to pay rent.
I think that's unfair, and I figured out that that's the case for every apartment that allows dogs, that you have to actually pay 50, maybe more pounds. And I'm like, why? If he messes up, the deposit anyway will be taken off, so it doesn't make a difference. Yeah.
When you've got that £50 extra that you pay for the pet permit, you do feel the crunching. I think with the price of everything going up, even paying for dog food and everything.
Paying more seemed like the only option for Victoria after her previous landlord requested she either rehome her miniature Dachshund Samson or face eviction.
We got Samson because we were under the impression that they allowed pets in the building. Quite a few people had dogs, and it actually came out in the end that we weren't granted permission to have the pet. I think we had a week to be out of our apartment, and we found this place really last minute. So loads of the job search would be, they didn't list on the Rightmove adverts whether or not it was pet friendly, and then it got to the point where we'd get a viewing, speak to the agent, they'd be like, oh, absolutely no pets here.
To understand the issues pet owners are facing, let's take a look at the current UK rental market. There are over 11 million people in the UK currently living in rented homes, but over the last 3 years, the amount of properties available to rent has almost halved. And out of these homes, only 7% of landlords actually advertise their properties as being pet friendly. So as the laws currently stand, do you think there's an imbalance in the powers between the landlord and the tenant?
I can see that it seems that way for tenants. It doesn't seem that way for landlords. I know landlords feel very aggrieved about it because tenants can cause an enormous amount of damage, and often tenants keep pets without proper permission, and they only find out when they go back into the property later.
A 2020 study from CIA Landlord found that 78% of landlords have caught a tenant lying about keeping a pet. But for this renter, the benefits of having a dog outweigh the risk of breaking her contract. These are her words, but not her voice.
We were broken into a couple of months ago. They smashed through our back window. Luckily, they didn't get into the actual house because my partner was in at the time. But that was one of the main reasons why, because my partner was really unsettled afterwards. I was quite afraid, and he works away a lot, so for me, being on my own, a dog is something that's beneficial to help me when alone and to make me not feel as lonely and not as scared to be in the house.
So in your contract with your landlord, are you allowed to have pets?
No, we're not supposed to have pets really. I just feel like after we got broken into, it was a case of, well, we need to prioritise our mental health and well-being. At the end of the day, you just have to trust people because it's not only dogs that destroy properties, like people can destroy them as well.
Renters in this situation may not have to keep their secret for much longer. This is because on the 16th of June, a white paper was published in government called the Renters Reform Bill, which aims at making it easier for tenants to keep their much-loved pets in their rental properties. If this becomes law, it will give tenants the legal right to request a pet in their home, which a landlord must consider and cannot unreasonably refuse. But some landlords feel these new laws are one-sided.
I think all these rules and regulations are geared to make the tenant's experience better and to protect the tenant. I don't think any of these rules are particularly to protect the landlord at all, which is unfair because obviously we've made the major investment.
Keith has been a landlord for almost 10 years. He no longer allows pets in any of his properties after a challenging experience with a previous tenant.
So I had a pet for 12 months. It was damage to the carpet, which was clearly done by the pet, which was annoying. Then you've got to hold the deposit, which is unfair for them, and you get into a bit of a battle with them. If you're a responsible owner of a pet, I think it's fine. But some people rent a house and then leave their pets and then go off to work for 8 hours, which is unfair to the pet, unfair to the landlord, and unfair to everybody.
According to Rightmove, more than 3.2 million UK households have bought a dog since the start of the pandemic. But with so many unanswered questions still surrounding the private renters reform bill, what will happen to our furry, four-legged renters?